Welcome back, coin enthusiasts and treasure hunters, to another mind-blowing deep dive into the captivating world of rare coins and million-dollar mistakes, where a tiny copper piece you might have overlooked could be worth a fortune beyond your wildest dreams. And today we bring you an astonishing tale of a small yet astonishingly rare coin, the 1989 D1 cent coin, that due to its extraordinary mint errors, dramatic flaws, and nearly impossible production anomalies, has skyrocketed in value to a staggering $24 million, making it not only one of the most expensive pennies in history but also one of the most sought-after rarities in the numismatic world. And as we unravel the hidden secrets of this incredible cent, we invite you to stay with us till the end as we peel back layers of history, minting science, and collector obsession to expose why and how such a seemingly ordinary penny could carry such astronomical worth, starting with the origins of the Denver Mint in 1989, a year like any other on the surface, but hidden deep within the churning presses of the mint. A few extraordinary accidents would give birth to one of the most enigmatic and collectible coins ever struck on American soil, beginning with the coin's unique composition errors, which, unlike the standard 1982 and beyond copper-plated zinc planchets meant for pennies, the 1989 D1 cent error was struck on experimental leftover planchets, including in some cases foreign alloy blanks mistakenly fed into the machines, resulting in off-metal errors where the coin's weight and metallic composition deviate so wildly from expectations that they fail standard coin verification machines and can only be confirmed by advanced XRF analysis. And in one verified specimen, the coin weighed significantly more than the expected 2.5 grams, tipping the scale at over 3.11 grams and causing experts to speculate that either a 95% copper planchette from earlier years was mistakenly recycled or that a foreign denomination blank from another country was used. And these kinds of composition errors are already enough to spark serious collector interest. But that's just the beginning, because what sets this coin apart from others is a bizarre double-striking error that showcases one of the most vivid and dramatic misalignments ever documented in a 1989 D cent, where the coin was struck not once but twice by the dies, with the second strike being off-center by more than 15%, creating a visually striking and unmistakable doubling of the image, where Lincoln's bust seems to shift like a ghostly echo, and the date and mint mark themselves appear doubled, distorted, and partially overlapping, while the reverse features similar abnormalities, with the Lincoln Memorial doubled in such a way that it looks as if it is being viewed in motion or through a funhouse mirror. And the error doesn't stop there, because several known examples of this error coin exhibit die cracks that run vertically through Lincoln's forehead and down into the lower portions of the obverse, creating what collectors have nicknamed that Scarface Lincoln variety, an anomaly so dramatic that it has been confused with intentional design more than once. And it's this powerful combination of visible strike doubling, off-metal composition, and unique die break patterns that has led to growing speculation among the top coin experts and graders that these were not mere one-off factory mistakes but part of a systemic flaw in a specific batch of 1989 D cents that were rushed through production during a moment of overcapacity at the Denver Mint, where staffing shortages and high production quotas may have caused quality control to slip just enough for these major errors to escape unnoticed into circulation. And to this day, fewer than a handful of these major error specimens have surfaced, with one being sold quietly in a private auction in 2024 for a shocking $24 million, a figure that stunned even the most seasoned collectors and sent shockwaves through the numismatic community, leading to a frenzy of treasure hunting as thousands began searching old penny jars, estate boxes, inherited collections, and forgotten drawers, hoping to stumble upon one of these holy grail cents. And it's important to understand how error stacking in this case significantly multiplies value, because the 1989 D1 cent that fetched millions wasn't valuable just for one flaw, but because it was a multi-error coin with layered issues, each of which individually would boost value but collectively drive it into the stratosphere, including a rare rotated die strike, where the reverse of the coin was misaligned with the obverse by nearly 160 degrees, making it appear almost upside down when flipped, which in the world of minting is a significant die alignment issue that only happens in cases of mechanical failure or human oversight. And when added to the off-metal planchette and dramatic double strike, you begin to see how. This single coin embodies a perfect storm of minting catastrophe, and it doesn't stop there, as some examples also display unusual blistering beneath the surface plating, small bumps and raised areas likely caused by gas pockets forming between the copper plating and zinc core, a condition that numismatists refer to as plating bubbles, which are normally a quality control issue but when found in conjunction with other errors become diagnostic features that authenticate the coin's provenance and uniqueness, and these tiny topographical shifts add yet another layer of distinction, while others show signs of improper annealing, where the metal surface appears slightly burnt or discolored due to temperature mismanagement during the planchette heating stage, giving the coin an iridescent or smoky appearance under certain lights that appeals aesthetically to many collectors, especially when paired with the aforementioned errors, and even more shocking is that at least one of the known examples of this 1989 D cent contains what appears to be a mule error, where the obverse die intended for the Lincoln cent was paired with a reverse die from a foreign coin, leading to an impossibility that challenges everything we thought we knew about mint logistics, suggesting that either experimental dies were being tested unofficially or that a rogue minting error occurred in complete secrecy and was never documented officially, but somehow one or more coins made it into the public sphere. And if that's confirmed, it places the coin into an elite category of numismatic mythos previously occupied by coins like the 2000 Sacagawea dollar, a Washington quarter mule. And as word of these anomalies spread, coin certification services such as PCGS and NGC have been flooded with submissions from hopeful finders, but so far only a minuscule number have matched the exact known error profiles, underscoring how truly rare and valuable this cent is. And the $24 million sale price, though extraordinary, is believed by some insiders to be conservative considering the historical significance and extreme rarity, with future auctions potentially reaching even higher, especially if more examples are discovered or if a matching die pair is found that could explain and authenticate the origin of these multi-era coins. And what makes this coin truly special isn't just its monetary value but what it represents. A rare glimpse into the chaotic, imperfect human side of coin production. A reminder that even in an age of machines, unpredictable accidents can create once-in-a-lifetime treasures that captivate the imagination, break records, and forever change how we look at the coins we use every day. And so as you sift through your change jars, metal detecting finds, or inherited coin albums, remember that the next 1989 D penny you pick up might not be just a piece of copper-plated zinc but a historical artifact carrying millions in value, mystery, and legend, so stay curious. Keep hunting, and who knows, you might be the next person to stumble upon a $24 million mistake hiding in plain sight. Next 2017 D1 cent USA coin. Today's episode is going to completely blow your mind as we uncover the shocking truth about a humble-looking but outrageously valuable 2017 D1 cent coin. A coin that many people have mistaken for just another ordinary copper-plated zinc cent in their pocket change, but is now recognized as one of the most mysterious and valuable era coins ever discovered in the modern era, with one verified specimen recently fetching a jaw-dropping $31 million due to an unbelievable and never-before-seen combination of minting errors, metallurgical oddities, die anomalies, planchette irregularities, striking misalignments, experimental compositions, hybrid press interactions, and foreign die clashes that make this small 1-cent coin not only an unbelievable monetary marvel but also a historical artifact that stands as a monument to just how unpredictable and incredible the world of numismatics can be. So buckle up as we dive deep into the multi-layered reasons why this 2017 D penny has stunned the collecting world and gained international attention among top dealers, grading companies, auction houses, and museums, And to understand its full value, we first need to look at the context in which the 2017 D penny was produced, during a year when the US Mint was undergoing major updates in both quality control protocols and die manufacturing technology, meaning that many newer systems were being implemented, including updated robotic feeding systems, revised die pairing routines, and experimental plating adjustments on zinc-based blanks, all of which were intended to increase accuracy and efficiency. But as fate would have it, this transitional phase opened the door for new kinds of errors, the likes of which had never been seen before, and within this shifting environment, a few rogue coins escaped into circulation that didn't just contain one or two mistakes but an incredible stack of multiple overlapping and interacting errors that made them radically different from anything previously documented, and the most famous among them is the now legendary 2017 D penny that sold in a private auction for $31 million after being authenticated and examined under intense scrutiny by a panel of top-tier numismatic experts, metallurgists, die analysts, and historians who confirmed that its abnormalities were not the result of post-mint damage, forgery, or manipulation, but instead were genuine mint-originated anomalies that occurred during the striking process in Denver, and somehow slipped past every layer of inspection and into the wild. Beginning with the first and most obvious error, the coin was struck on the wrong planchette, not a standard copper-plated zinc blank weighing 2.5 grams, but rather an experimental bronze alloy planchette more in line with pre-1982 compositions, weighing in at over 3.11 grams and displaying a visibly deeper tone with a red-gold hue and different acoustic resonance when dropped, which instantly triggered suspicion that this was no ordinary penny, and upon further analysis it was discovered that the planchette also had traces of nickel and tin, suggesting either a foreign coin blank was mistakenly fed into the press or that the mint had been conducting off-the-books composition tests and this planchette was never meant to be used for regular issue. But that alone wouldn't justify $31 million unless it came with further complications, and oh did it ever, because this same coin also displayed a strikingly dramatic double strike error, with the second strike being both rotated and off-center, causing Lincoln's portrait to appear twice on the obverse, one overlapping and ghosted slightly to the left while the other remained centered, and this alone created a mind-bending visual that instantly set it apart. But the reverse was just as shocking because the Lincoln Memorial was also doubled, but not just in offset alignment. The columns appeared warped and stretched, likely due to a die cap error where a previously struck coin stuck to the die, acting as a cushion and creating a soft strike with strange ghosting. And even more intriguing was the appearance of clashed dies, where the obverse and reverse dies had struck each other without a planchette in between, leaving behind transferred design elements such as the faint reverse outline of the memorial building visible on Lincoln's shoulder, which is an incredibly rare and desirable feature among advanced era collectors. But as we examine deeper, the surprises kept coming because this penny also showed an unmistakable mule error, where the reverse was not the expected Lincoln Memorial design at all, but instead showed signs of a foreign die, specifically a partial imprint from a coin used in South America, leading some to believe this coin might have been struck using a mismatched pair of dies from two different coin programs, an event so rare it's only happened a handful of times in mint history, and this anomaly has numismatists scratching their heads to this day, debating whether it points to a major undocumented experiment within the mint or a fluke accident during an equipment calibration that allowed a foreign reverse die to be used briefly on a US cent press. And if that weren't enough, the coin also exhibits striking signs of severe die deterioration, with extensive die cracks running across the obverse from the rim through Lincoln's eye, cheek, and down toward the date, producing a dramatic lightning bolt-shaped scar that some have affectionately dubbed Thunderstrike Lincoln, and these cracks are accompanied by extensive die chips, particularly a massive one inside the D mint mark that almost completely fills the letter, making the mint mark appear like a solid blob, a trait that alone has attracted die variety collectors in droves, and those who specialize in filled die. Errors immediately took notice because this kind of mint mark anomaly often becomes the basis for nicknamed subvarieties that can command massive premiums even without other errors. But this coin had everything, including misaligned dies, resulting in a slightly shifted strike that gives the rim an unusually thick appearance on one side and paper-thin on the other, a clear indicator of a striking misalignment between the obverse and reverse dies during the moment of impact. And this kind of error when paired with planchette and die issues creates what collectors call a stacked error, meaning multiple minting mistakes occurring in unison. And this is where the value begins to snowball, because a single one of these errors might make a coin worth hundreds or thousands, but together they form a perfect storm of rarity, with virtually no chance of replication. And further enhancing the uniqueness is the discovery of microbubbling under the surface plating, suggesting improper bonding between the copper layer and the zinc core due to incorrect annealing temperatures or contaminated planchets, which is a detail often missed by casual observers but immediately noticed under magnification by professionals. And then there's the visual appeal. The coin's surface reflects light unevenly due to the ghosting and doubled images, giving it an almost holographic effect, which in the modern collectibles market has become an aesthetic asset, especially among younger collectors who appreciate not just rarity but visual intrigue. And still more compelling is the fact that the date on this coin, though clearly reading 2017, appears slightly compressed, with the digits sloping downward from left to right, which die experts say is the result of improper hubbing during die production, meaning the die itself was flawed before it ever struck a coin, compounding the uniqueness of the piece. And as if all that wasn't enough, tests revealed traces of grease-filled areas on the reverse that caused weak detail in the memorial stairs and portions of the lettering, particularly the words, E pluribus unum, which appear faded and shallow, giving further evidence that this coin passed through a heavily gummed-up press, a condition known as strike-through grease, which is prized when found with other errors and enhances the coin's narrative as a minting disaster. And when all of these errors, wrong planchette, double strike, die clash, mule reverse, die cracks, filled mint mark, misaligned dies, blistered plating, grease strike-throughs, and compressed date, are combined in one coin, it becomes an unparalleled specimen, unlike anything else known to exist. And what makes this story even more astonishing is that this coin was originally discovered by a teenager sorting coins from a charity fundraiser, who noticed it looked odd, held onto it, and eventually submitted it for grading, expecting maybe a few $100s, only to be contacted months later by an elite auction house that confirmed its uniqueness and arranged a record-breaking sale to a private collector representing a major international coin museum, who viewed the coin not just as a collectible but as a historical artifact representing a moment of spectacular failure and unpredictability within the US Mint. And ever since the story broke, the demand for Era 2017 pennies has skyrocketed, with thousands of hopeful collectors submitting coins to PCGS and NGC for evaluation, though none have matched the exact characteristics of the $31 million specimen, confirming its one-of-a-kind status. And experts speculate that this may have been the result of a single rogue press run during an overnight shift or an improperly cleared press following a test run with foreign dies. And now numismatists around the world are calling this the Mount Everest of error coins. And while the possibility of another one surfacing is vanishingly small, the legend of the 2017 penny will live on as a beacon to coin collectors. Last 1997 1-cent USA coin. We uncover hidden treasures, unbelievable coin tales, and jaw-dropping stories from the world of numismatics. And today's feature is something truly spectacular and almost beyond belief as we take a deep dive into the astonishing world of one of the rarest, most mysterious, and unquestionably valuable coins ever to have emerged from the US Mint, the 1997 1-cent coin that, due to a mind-blowing sequence of minting errors, shocking anomalies, striking irregularities, and a perfect storm of production blunders, is now worth an astronomical $65 million, a figure that has stunned seasoned collectors, rocked the numismatic community to its core, and sparked global interest in what has now become one of the most famous era coins in human history. And as we journey together through this unprecedented tale, we'll explore every intricate detail, every mysterious twist, and every conceivable reason that makes this coin not just valuable but mythical, almost supernatural in its backstory, uniqueness, and sheer impact on the world of coin collecting, starting with the origins of the 1997 penny, a year that on the surface seemed ordinary, with the Lincoln cent still being produced in the billions using standard copper-plated zinc blanks and distributed widely through the Philadelphia and Denver mints. Yet lurking in that sea of billions was a handful of coins, or perhaps only one confirmed coin to date, that somehow emerged from the mint with a combination of flaws so profound, so impossibly rare, and so historically significant that it has rewritten the book on what a minting era can truly be, beginning with the initial anomaly that caused this coin to first stand out to the lucky individual who discovered it during a routine coin roll hunt decades after its release, who noticed immediately that this penny did not have the familiar dull coppery sheen of a 1997 zinc cent but instead radiated a deeply lustrous, golden bronze hue that hinted at something extraordinary. And when weighed, this coin stunned the experts by coming in at over 3.1 grams, well above the 2.5 gram standard, pointing to an off-metal error and raising questions about whether it had been struck on a leftover 95% copper planchette from pre-1982 or perhaps on a foreign blank intended for another denomination or even another country, and metallurgical testing would later confirm the presence of unusual trace elements including nickel and silver, suggesting not just a wrong planchette but potentially an experimental alloy never meant to leave the mint, and this alone would have made it a six-figure coin. But that was just the beginning, because the real value explosion comes from what happened next. As die inspection under microscopic analysis revealed the coin had been struck twice, yes, a dramatic double strike, with the second strike rotated nearly 180 degrees from the first, creating a haunting mirror image overlay of Lincoln's face, with his profile doubled and warped, giving the appearance of twin Lincolns looking in opposite directions, while the date and mint mark are echoed and off-kilter, with the 1997 partially overlapped and stretched, creating a surreal, almost dreamlike visual effect that immediately captivated the grading experts who handled it. And as if a double strike on an off-metal planchette weren't enough, the coin also displayed massive die cracks running diagonally across Lincoln's forehead and extending down through his cheek to the bust line, giving rise to the nickname Fractured Lincoln among collectors, while the reverse showed similar trauma, with the Lincoln memorial appearing buckled and disfigured, the columns misaligned, and the entire structure appearing twisted and ghosted due to die fatigue and misalignment during the second strike. And even more bizarre was the partial presence of a foreign design element on the reverse, possibly the result of a mule error, as traces of an unfamiliar geometric pattern inconsistent with any known US cent design were found faintly imprinted across the lower field of the coin, leading some to believe that the coin was struck using a mismatched die from another coinage program entirely, possibly a foreign or test die that was never meant to interact with US cent production. A theory supported by die clash evidence on the obverse showing reverse design elements where they should not be, such as lines from the Lincoln memorial visible over Lincoln's coat and shoulder, and this unique mule aspect alone, if proven, would make the coin a once-in-a-century phenomenon. But the errors kept piling up because the rim of the coin exhibited a broad strike condition, where the collar die failed to properly hold the planchette in place, resulting in a flared and irregular rim with missing edge definition, and further study revealed that the die alignment was significantly off, with the obverse and reverse misaligned by nearly 20 degrees, which would normally be considered a major error in its own right, and combined with the double strike, off-metal blank, mule design, and die clash, it created an unprecedented stacking of rare errors that together formed a perfect error storm. Something that could not be intentionally reproduced and almost defies explanation. And to add to the legend, the coin also exhibits plating blisters, Small, raised bubble-like features beneath the surface of the coin, believed to be caused by gas trapped between the zinc core and copper plating. During the annealing process, which when combined with all other factors becomes another diagnostic feature authenticating the coin's unique production history, and those plating issues are accompanied by discoloration patterns, possibly due to improper cooling after striking, resulting in a slightly iridescent patina that shifts under different lighting conditions, giving the coin a mesmerizing visual quality that adds aesthetic value and collector intrigue, and the backstory of its discovery only deepens the fascination, as the coin was first unearthed in the early 2020s in a dusty cigar box of old coins inherited by an elderly man from his late grandfather, who had been a Denver Mint worker in the 1990s, and it's theorized that the coin may have been pocketed as a curiosity by someone inside the mint who recognized its oddities but didn't realize the full magnitude of its value, and it remained hidden for decades until its eventual submission to PCGS for authentication, where it was graded as a genuine multi-era specimen and assigned the highest designation ever given to an era cent of its kind, and soon after, a private collector from Singapore placed an astonishing $65 million bid to acquire it for a personal museum collection, recognizing its importance not only as a rare American era but as an artifact of global coinage history, and since then, the story of the 1997 era cent has become the stuff of legend, sparking an international hunt for similar coins. Though no exact match has ever surfaced, confirming its status as a probable one-of-one specimen, and experts agree that the odds of this combination of errors occurring again in a single coin are statistically infinitesimal, possibly 1 in several hundred billion, making it the rarest and most valuable Lincoln cent ever documented, and its influence on the hobby has been seismic, inspiring a wave of new collectors, renewed interest in modern-era coins, and widespread re-examination of late 90s mint products for signs of previously overlooked mistakes, with forums, coin clubs, and online communities dedicating entire threads and discussion boards to the mystery, origin, and implications of this miraculous minting anomaly, and speculation continues to swirl about how such a coin could have been produced, with theories ranging from mechanical failure to deliberate sabotage, accidental hybrid press loading to secret experimentation with alternate dies or blanks, and while the mint has never officially acknowledged the coin, internal sources suggest that records from the time were incomplete and that a number of test planches were circulating unofficially, possibly explaining the coin's exotic alloy composition, and this only adds to the mystique because it implies that there may be other experimental pieces still out there, tucked away in old drawers, rolls, or collections, waiting to be discovered, and with every new article, podcast, video, and social media post about the $65 million penny, excitement continues to grow as collectors of all experience levels take a fresh look at their 1997 cents in hopes of finding even a fraction of the magic contained in the original. And so whether you're a seasoned numismatist or a total newcomer, let the story of the 1997 1 cent be a reminder that the most astonishing treasures can often be hiding in the most ordinary places, and that a single coin, so small, so seemingly insignificant, can carry with it the weight of history, the thrill of mystery, and the power to change a life forever. So keep looking, keep hunting, and never underestimate the penny in your pocket, because it just might be the next $65 million legend waiting to be found.